This video is sponsored by Skillshare, an online learning community where courses can be created by people who want to teach, and studied by people who want to learn. Now, my motto has always been that you do not need the best equipment to get started with anything in life. Top Fives was created with a tiny notebook and a broken microphone. But there is something that everyone needs to become the best they can at something, and that something is what Skillshare so easily can provide: knowledge. The saying really is true: knowledge is everything. And with Skillshare, whether you're into art, technology, or even looking to start a YouTube career, they offer everything you need to equip yourself with skills and the know-how to learn and succeed at something new. We use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit all of our productions, and amongst other courses, I've been really enjoying the wide selection of Premiere Pro tutorials they have on there. Also, with Skillshare's awesome app, it means you can still be learning on the move by taking the course with you wherever you go. For the first 500 people to use the special Top Fives link in the description, they will get 2 months free worth of training. After that, and if you want to continue your knowledge quest, it's around $10 per month with an annual plan. Don't forget to click on the link in the description to check out Skillshare, and let's get into this video. Contrary to popular belief, pterosaurs were not dinosaurs, but they were their cousins who lived amongst the dinosaurs and became extinct around the same time. They were in fact winged reptiles who evolved from being land dwellers to the largest creatures ever to fly. Nowadays, their closest living relatives are crocodiles and birds. Now, although it's thought they died out over 66 million years ago, there are some who believe they have survived in various true forms, and are convinced they have witnessed them. The sightings and reports over the years are actually pretty interesting and fun to research, so let's take a look at 5 of my favourite pterosaur sightings. Enjoy. The New Guinea sightings. During World War II, 2 American soldiers walked into a clearing near Finch Haven in New Guinea, when a startled wild pig hurtled past them. This was followed by a massive winged creature that ran, flapping its wings profusely before taking off and flying away over the trees. The 2 soldiers started a discussion about what they had just witnessed, trying to figure out what it was, when suddenly it reappeared, and both men got a good look at the huge flying creature. One of the soldiers, the late Hodgkinson, later gave interviews about what he saw, and he estimated the wingspan of the creature was about 29 feet. He likened it to the size of a Piper Tri-Spacer aeroplane. He also described a long horn-like appendage coming out of the back of its head. Take a look at this clip of an interview he did in 2005. Now, there is not much doubt about what Hodgkinson saw. He is a credible witness, and there's nothing in his demeanour to suggest that he made up the sighting. Also, at the time of the sighting, the soldiers were not under any stress or enemy attack, as Japanese soldiers had already left the area. In the interview, he describes the creature as a pterosaur. However, locals call the beast a ropun, or demon flyer, a monstrous creature that's terrified the natives of Papua New Guinea for thousands of years. They describe it as a large nocturnal bat-like creature that glows as it flies and swoops down to catch fish. It's been known to attack humans, and although it's mainly the subject of folklore, there are many natives who believe it to be real. Over the years, there have been more so-called sightings of pterosaurs by professional monster hunters in Papua New Guinea, although there have been suggestions that these are frigate birds. However, what Hodgkinson witnessed could not have been a frigate bird, as they only have a wingspan of around 7 foot, meaning Hodgkinson would have been over 20 feet out on his estimation. Considering the clearing he was in was only around 100 foot, it seems unlikely he would have made such an error of judgment. What do you think? The PTP pterosaur photograph. Now, this next one is possibly the most famous photograph in history relating to the existence of a pterosaur. The image was allegedly taken in 1864 during the American Civil War. According to the story behind the mystery image, a giant flying creature was shot down by soldiers near the city of Vicksburg in western Mississippi. The story claims that the soldiers said the creature was like some kind of unknown bird or monster. The photograph was largely forgotten about until in 2000 a second photograph appeared reenacting the original image. It was created for a television program called Freaky Links, which aired on the Fox network. Now this one is obviously fake, but it renewed interest in the original photograph, with many experts believing it's a genuine. If, as is claimed, the photograph was taken in 1864, then there is no way it's photoshopped. But could it have been staged? While there were suggestions that the wings of the creature looked like parts of a canoe, however, an expert in canoes was quoted as saying the following: "I'm 67 years old and remember this photo from when I was young. I've canoed all my life, I've owned several of them. Those aren't halves of a canoe, too narrow, too shallow, and not a dugout canoe." The photograph, which has become known as the PTP, was supposedly declared genuine by two scientists in January of 2017, although the debate about its authenticity still rolls on. Africa's Kongomato. In 1932, explorer Frank Welland wrote a book called In Witch-Bound Africa. In it he described a flying creature called the Kongomato that was found deep in the bush of Central East Africa. The Kongomato was a large featherless beaked animal, reddish in colour with leathery wings and a wingspan of 4 to 7 feet. At the time, the local tribe who had witnessed the creature was shown pictures of a pterosaur from Welland's book, and they unanimously agreed that it was the same creature. In the years that followed, numerous sightings of the Kongomato have been reported. One of the more credible was in 1956, when engineer J.P.F. Brown was driving near a lake in Zambia. He stopped his car to get his water canteen from the trunk, and this was when he spotted two creatures flying slowly and quietly directly above him. He stated that they looked prehistoric, with a long tail and narrow head, and an estimated wingspan of around 3 to 3.5 feet. One of them opened its mouth, and he supposedly saw a large number of pointed teeth. In the same area a year later, a local native went to a hospital in Fort Rosebery with a severe wound to his chest. When the doctor asked him what happened, the man claimed that a great bird had attacked him in the swamps. When asked to sketch the bird, he drew a picture of a creature that very closely resembled a pterosaur. Modern reports of the Kongomato continue to surface to this day, with suggestions that the Kongomato is still known to the bush-dwelling people in Central East Africa. The creatures are said to feed on decomposing human flesh, and will dig up bodies if they are not buried deep enough. Eskin Kuhn's sighting. In 1971, Eskin Kuhn was a member of the US Marine Corps, and was stationed at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, where he claimed he witnessed two pterosaurs flying above him in broad daylight. Within minutes of the sighting, Kuhn went back to his barracks to alert his sergeant, but by the time they returned, the creatures had gone. Kuhn was a talented artist and was able to sketch in detail what he had witnessed. This is his account of what he saw. "We were engaged during the day in physical training, close order drill, gun drill, cleaning and maintenance, and other sundry routines common to service life, including a break for lunch, with its attending rest period or free time. It was during such free time period, in the middle of the day, that I was outside and witnessed the pterosaurs. Most of the platoon was in the new barracks hanging out. I was looking in the direction of the ocean when I saw an incredible sight. I saw two pterosaurs flying together at low altitude, perhaps 100 feet, very close in range from where I was standing, so that I had a perfectly clear view of them. The rhythm of their large wings was very graceful, slow, and yet they were flying and not merely gliding. The pterosaurs I saw had long hind legs attached to the rearward most part of the wing, and they had a long tail trailing behind, with a tuft of hair at the end. Some have questioned the authenticity of this sighting. However, in 2011, another witness came forward. Her name was Patty Carson, and she claimed to have witnessed the same creature 6 years earlier, when as a child, her father was the base commander at Guantanamo Bay. At the time of the sighting, her mother did not believe her when she said she had seen a dinosaur. Patty also made a sketch with the help of cryptozoologist Jonathan Whitcomb. Just look at the similarities. Both of these witnesses have nothing to gain by telling what they witnessed. And although Jonathan Whitcomb is the driving force behind proving the existence of living pterosaurs, he has conducted interviews with both of these witnesses and is convinced that they are completely genuine. Modern day sightings. Most of the sightings I just mentioned happened years ago. However, there are more up-to-date sightings in different parts of the world, and here are just a handful of them. In 2015, a video surfaced that appeared to capture a pterosaur flying above Boise in Idaho. The creature seemed to have a wingspan and distinctive, large backwards pointing crest at the back of its head. Zoomed in footage of the flight shows the strange creature up close, with claws attached to its wings. This is in fact the only video footage I could find of the supposed winged lizard, and it's most likely fake, but worth a look anyway. This next sighting is very recent and was recorded on Live Pterosaur, a site that Jonathan Whitcomb runs that is dedicated to anything pterosaur. It was in September 2017 and was spotted by a 32-year-old mother in Shropshire, England. She claims that while in her garden playing with a cat, she heard a very loud screech. As she looked up to see what it was, she witnessed two pterosaurs side by side. She describes them as featherless with a giant beak. This is what she said. They were huge and flew directly past some crows. Due to their size, I could see them clearly, although they went past fast. They were both grey in colour as far as I could tell. Now this lady lives near a wildlife reserve, so is used to seeing an assortment of different birds. But these were like nothing she had seen or heard before. And after researching bird species of England and elsewhere, she could find nothing similar. Shortly after the sighting, the lady's 13-year-old son came running in, saying he too saw a giant big brown bird with giant wings. She showed him a picture of a pterosaur, and he said, yes, that's what it looked like. This was not an isolated sighting in England. Back in 1982, Paul Bennett stated that he witnessed a bird with leathery wings flying haphazardly across the Pennines, and he likened it to a pterosaur that he had seen in the movies. 3 days after the sighting, Mrs. Schofield reported that she had also seen a huge bird flying at Yeadon, which was being mobbed by rooks. She described it as having a wingspan of around 10 feet and was flying in the direction of the Leeds and Bradford airport. So that's the reports and sightings of the supposed pterosaurs that still roams the earth. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to follow the link in the description to check out Skillshare, and be one of the first 500 to click on the link in the description and get access to 2 months of full free training. Leave a comment below on what courses you'll be trying out. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.